All right, so I think as Muslims, there is something that we all know, and that is the idea of that the biggest sin anyone could ever make is associating partners with God, which is basically shirk. Yeah? And for the longest time ever, I've always thought that the idea of shirk is basically having like an another statue like that you actually worship, and you think that is my god. For example, people worship previously people would worship the sun, some would worship the moon, some would worship animals, or like just actually worshiping as like a statue, whether it's someone or something that we think it's a god, or something that would connect us to God. um, um, Something like um, the Greek gods that people would believe in. I certainly don't, or at least which like the gods that Abraham saw his people praying to, and so on. So I have, and for majority of people right now, Muslims, we all know that that's a completely a no thing to do. Like that's not nothing we would ever do basically in terms of like actually worshiping that thing. However, I have recently came to like realize or learn that associating partners with God doesn't have to be like a statue that you actually pray to. It could be other things that are more settled than that. And in reality, everything in life is actually trying to be a god in your life. And when I say like something that's trying to be a god, is like it's whatever the thing that's at the center of your heart, that is like all of your thinking, and it is the biggest thing that you cannot take your mind off, and that is like basically at the center of your heart. You think about it morning, night, day, and I think that is actually the thing that you're actually putting as your god. It doesn't have to be something that you actually do sujood to or prostrate to, but if that thing is at the center of your heart, that's already that is already like a god that you're thinking about. So it's like you're actually circling around that thing day, morning, and night. All of your thoughts are around that. And I'm going to give I will give an example from my own life just to put this out there. One day I'm going to go back to this video to learn from it. So for about few years, I've been having this idea of like, okay, this is a dream car that I actually want to buy. It's a goal, okay? It's a goal that I want. And for a while, I had this idea where I'm like constantly just thinking about the car, or about the way I'm going to get it, what kind of model that I'm going to get, and it is just in my mind day and night. And it's like this idea is I'm circling it all the time, and I might be making. I don't think I've made a prayer to ask God a lot to give me that, and I'm just thinking about it where like, okay, I'm gonna get that, and I'm just thinking about all the different ways to get it. And every time I see the actual car on the street, I would think, oh my god, it would be so good. There's nothing more that I want out of life except that thing. And the moment that I get that thought, that is basically the actual problem, where my life cannot be without that thing. That is where the problem actually becomes, because my life cannot be without God in my life. But when I think about the car, the person, the money, the house, the family, the whatever, that my life cannot become without that thing, that thing has now entered and became a partner with God. But we always say La ilaha illallah, like there is no God but God. So there is nothing worthy of my attention, my heart, except God. And that is actually basically the biggest mistake I have made for the past 10 years of my life, or for my entire existence. Or at least I didn't understand. Like, we say the words all the time, but I never thought it actually comes to that. And we sometimes, like, I wrote this in my notes on the phone. We actually have to break the statues or the gods in our heart, not the ones that we actually pray towards, because that is clear. Like, if I have a statue that I'm praying to, that's obviously I'm now putting partners with Allah, and I'm now praying to a different, or like I'm worshipping something else than God, than Allah. So yeah, that was the, like, one of my biggest realizations that I've had in the past few months, and that I'm still trying to comprehend and trying to put my mind around. It's like, whoa, this is kind of big. It also comes down to, like, if you have actually lost a relative and that you now think that your life can never be without that person in it, that's also associating a partner with Allah, because now you think, okay, my life cannot be without that person in it. But who do I actually worship? Who do I need the most? Who is actually running my body? Who is actually making everything? Who actually created everything that my actual life cannot go without? So yeah, and that was just really big to think about. So just wanted to share that. Maybe one day I'll come back to this video, one day I'll forget, and yeah.